Peace and blessings to the chosen.
You always complaining, ain't you? But this time, you didn't cross the line. Sitting around throwing dirt upon my character. Using the same breath that's mine.
Shalom, shalom. Shalom, peace and blessings to the chosen. Everybody who tuning in.
Even the words that I'm saying is coming to me as I say it, not playing. You see, think not on what you need to say.
Peace and blessings to the chosen. Shalom, Wanava. All praise to the Most High. Likewise. Likewise, Sister Yanika. Brew Bunch 144. And dear, shalom, shalom. Yeah. Give some time for brothers and sisters to get in. Be your pa. Shabbat shalom, shalom. Humble bro one. What's going on, son? Good to be seen. Good to see y'all. Peace and blessings to the chosen. The tallest mountain for you. And I will build the most beautiful fountain that I can resist. But I pray you mold me to what you want me to be. And I'm willingly gonna be a living sacrifice for thee. Wherever you go, I wanna come to. All right, all right. Shalom, peace and blessings to the chosen. Supreme peace, full peace, peace in its purest form, in every form and fashion that it can be to everybody who tuning in, who are sincere, who is seeking the Most High, striving after their good and perfect reward. To the devils that's tuning in, I know you watching. It's all good. You're always watching. May you be cursed. As the book tells us, bless those who bless you, and curse those who curse you. Today, though, family, we're proud even to that. Salakia. I know somebody gonna ask. This song that was played was by Tevin White. Tevin White, I Wanna Come Too. You can find it on SoundCloud. Tevin White, I Wanna Come Too. Um, all praises, glory, and honor goes to the Most High, the power, the authority, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, or Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. This will get all the glory and honor. No flesh to glory in his sight. I pray that the word spoken and uttered today be from the Most High. That it edifies somebody, that it strengthens people, that it increase and expands the understanding that we need to have in these days and times that are severe, that is terrible, that is dark, that is wicked, and things will get worse, brothers and sisters. If you haven't smashed the like button, smash it now, or the dislike button, either or. What it does, the numbers go up, and people throughout, the YouTube world, as they see the numbers, it'll pop up on their timeline and give them a chance to hear the word. It might feed them. If it doesn't feed you, it might feed the next brother or sister. All it takes is one verse of understanding for some brothers and sisters to be drawn out of the fire and then be brought into the fold to strive in truth and in spirit, in order to be seeking the Most High, to, at the end, receive and reap that salvation that we all want. See, anything else before we jump into the message? Trying to get everything out the way. We definitely want to praise and glorify the Most High. I'm nobody, just a servant, just a vessel. At the end of the message, any question, comments, concern, we can deal with those. But what's on my spirit, or what has been on my spirit quite some time, brothers and sisters, is understanding that the prophets of old, our ancestors, the same people who we love and admire so much, and we fashion ourselves out. We say, well, these are my people. We take the Bible and say, well, we Israelites, we found out that we Hebrews, we found out that we are the descendants of the chosen people of the Creator. And we want all of that rich heritage. We say, we're going to rock the fringes, we're going to keep the holy days, we're going to change the way that we eat by consuming or abiding by the dietary law. We're going to love our neighbors as ourselves. We're going to do these things. But one thing that we overlook and that we don't, or at least that I've seen, many don't take consideration of, is that those same prophets, brothers and sisters, those brothers and even those sisters had a mind to take life at certain times. They had a mind to kill in certain situations, brothers and sisters. This message is not to provoke nobody or to tell anybody to go out and kill or take life from anybody. But what it is to encourage you, to let you know that there may come a time where you may have to take someone's life or people's life, but let it be done in righteousness. All right, so we'll go through the scriptures to get it. The message is not for everybody. Everybody won't feel it. Everybody won't understand it. That's okay. That's fine. You might not be a warrior. Understand that in war, they have nurses or they have cooks, aside from the soldier that goes out on the battlefield with the rifle. But those people are still enlisted in their army. So understand, everybody's role is not the same. So this is not, if you don't feel it or you disagree with it, it's all praise to the Most High. But he that have an ear, let him hear. So let's open up with Proverbs 29, though. Proverbs 29 and 25, brothers and sisters. A time to kill. Looking at everything that's going on in the world, understanding, do you believe that the zombie apocalypse that they promoted on World Health Organization website or the CDC website, do you believe that to be true? You think that's going to happen? You think it's going to come a time where Second Ezra tells us the people will be invading one another? They're going to be running into one another's houses for lack of bread because of this severe famine. It said the women going to be ravished. The children going to be killed. Men going to be fearful like women. At that time, the prayers, they're going to have to already been went forth. But you might have to fight for your life. You might have to fight for the life of your wife, of your children, of your husband, of your brother, your neighbor. So this message is not for nobody who got a weak heart or a weak mind. If you don't feel like you have to go to war or think that it's necessary, it's not for you, and that's fine as well. Let's go to Proverbs 29. Proverbs 29. But remember what the book tells us. The fearful and unbelieving, they will not enter the kingdom. They will not enter the kingdom. Proverbs 29 verse 25, it says, the fear of man bringeth a snare, but whoso putteth his trust in the Most High shall be safe. All right, so we're talking about the fear of man, and this is one of the issues why this particular message will bother so many people. Because brothers and sisters are fearful of the opinion of. They say you shouldn't talk like that. One of the things that get under my skin, seeing so often, Hebrews or Israelites trying to prove to society that we are civilized. So the situation occurs with a Karen. The Karen comes up being disrespectful. Or even these officers or whoever, these unrighteous officers, and get to putting their hands on people or spit in their face. And hear the brother or sister you're talking about, sir, please don't do this. Sir, ma'am. The respect is out the window then, brothers and sisters. So you've already proven to society that you civilized Hebrew, Israelite, that we ain't tore down the country. All right, but it says the fear of man bringeth a snare. So being afraid of people, being afraid of men instead of the Most High, that's going to put you in a bind. That's going to put you in a situation that's worse than what the Father can put you in. The fear of man bringeth a snare. Understand it. All right, but whoso putteth his trust in the Most High shall be safe. Trust in the Most High. Sometimes the trusting in the Most High is to wield this weapon. It is to fight for your life. It is to have to put hands on somebody. I'm looking at people now, they say, well, to kill, that's wrong. That's satanic. Okay, but the Bible talks about it all through it. But okay. So you say, well, I ain't going to kill him. I'm going to fight him, though. If you trying to fight that, man, that's demonic. That's satanic. Oh, man. Okay, I can't fight him either. Okay, how about I correct him and rebuke him sharply? All right, then that turns it to a point where a person is even considered demonic or satanic. So at what point do we gird up our loins like men? At what point do we gird up our loins like men and stand for our nation? The Maccabees did not reap those blessings to that we can celebrate the Feast of Dedication by only praying. Example, Dylan Roof years ago in a black historic church. Gentile come in, they receive him with open arms. Say that he coming in to pray with us, okay. So when Dylan Roof pulls the gun out and begins shooting brothers and sisters, say they running and they going into corners praying. And while they praying, he put one in their melon. They want the time to pray. At that point in time, it was for somebody to stand up with arms to neutralize the threat. And we in those times, bro, you best to believe these people getting these, they taking these injections. Taking these injections, and it's driving them out their heads, a lot of them. The people are no longer human. It's changed their DNA, brothers and sisters. The genetic pool has been altered. And so when they flip out and wig out and they run in your house and you telling me, Paisley, you off, saying it might be a time that you got to kill somebody. Keep that same mentality when they run in your house. But for me and my house, it's going to be protected. But Proverbs 29:25 again. The fear of man bringeth a snare, but whoso putteth his trust in the Most High shall be safe. Let's get an example. Let's get an example of when the fear of man caused somebody to be in the snare. Let's go to 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel, brothers and sisters. 1 Samuel chapter 15. We're going to start with one. We'll read the whole chapter because in essence, it's going to cover just about every point that needs to be covered from this message. 1 Samuel chapter 15. We're going to start with verse 1. It says, Samuel also said unto Saul, the Most High sent me to appoint thee to be king over his people, over Israel. Now therefore hearken thou unto the voice of the words of the Most High. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way which he came up from Egypt. Now go and smite Amalek, and utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass. This is a command from the Most High, brothers and sisters. So some are okay with the commandment that's telling us, hey, thou shalt not steal. But this is some instructions from the same one. The same one said, listen, slay everything. Old, young, even the animals. Why? Not just because to be wicked. He said, I remember what Amalek did. When the Father was bringing our ancestors out of Egypt, the Amalekites at the back end of our people, of the reward, they back there killing the elderly. They back there murdering our people, understanding that prior to that, Pharaoh had already said, okay, well, good, I give up, I'm going to let y'all go. All we trying to do is go to the wilderness and worship the Most High, our power, our God in peace. That's all we trying to do. We don't want no problems. We trying to leave. But this is what the adversaries of the nation did. This is what the foes and the enemies of the Most High did to his people. So the Father said, I remember that. Y'all got to pay for that. So he gave the commandment to Saul. Destroy everything. Smite, kill, utterly, completely wipe them out. Wipe them out. Verse 4 says, and Saul gathered the people together and numbered them in Telaim, 200,000 footmen and 10,000 men of Judah. And Saul came to a city of Amalek and laid wait in the valley. And Saul said unto the Kenites, go, depart, get you down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them. For ye showed kindness to all the children of Israel when they came up out of Egypt. So the Kenites departed from among the Amalekites. Saul recalled that, showed mercy. We're going to apply mercy where mercy is due. Verse 7, and Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah until thou comest to Shur, that is over against Egypt. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. I'm going to read that again. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. So he took life. This is at the beckoning of the Most High God, the same one that made the sun, moon, stars, the wind, the snow, the lava, volcanoes, the hurricanes, and everything else. He said he spared the king, though. That was disobedience. But everybody else, they met their sword. Verse 9 says, but Saul and the people spared Agag, and the best of the sheep, and of the oxen, and of the fatlings, and the lambs, and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them. But everything that was vile and refused, that they destroyed utterly. This unto Samuel, saying, it repent of me that I set up Saul to be king, for he is turned back from following me, and have not performed my commandments. And it grieved Samuel, and he cried unto the Most High all night. So the disobedience put Saul at odds with the Creator. Let's keep going. It says, and when Samuel rose early to meet Saul in the morning, it was told Samuel, saying, Saul came to Carmel, and behold, he set him up a place, and is gone about, and passed on, and gone down to Gilgal. And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, Blessed be thou of the Lord. I have performed the commandment of the Lord. And Samuel said, What meaneth then this bleating of the sheep in mine ears, and the lowing of the oxen which I heard? And Saul said, They have brought them from the Amalekites. For the people spared the best of the sheep and of the oxen, to sacrifice unto the Most High thy power, and the rest we have utterly destroyed. So Samuel, like, hold on, you saying you didn't keep the command, you followed the instructions given. Well, why am I hearing these sheep? The Most High said, kill everything, including the animals. The Most High said, do that. Wipe them out. So you didn't keep that commandment. But he said they kept the best. So the things that sometimes this is what's going on. People thinking, that, hey, we being so much, you trying to hold on to what you think is good. But that thing that you think is good, the Most High detested. He hated. He said it's vile. I don't care how clean it is. I don't care how good it look. I don't care how special or how much value society put on it. The Most High might look at that thing like, man, that is pure boo-boo, man. That's crap. Get rid of that. It's tiny. I don't want nothing to do with it. All right, continuing on, though. Verse 16. Then Samuel said unto Saul, Stay, and I will tell thee what the Most High have said to me this night. And he said unto him, Say on. And Samuel said, When thou wast little in thine own sight, was thou not made the head of the tribes of Israel? And the Most High anointed thee king over Israel? And the Most High sent thee on a journey and said, Go and utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, and fight against them until they be consumed. Is what the Most High said. But fear bringeth a snare. Don't forget that. We get an example of what Proverbs 29:25 told us. Said, the fear of man bringeth a snare. Verse 19. Excuse me too. I'm recovering from what seemed like they sprayed some in the air, brothers and sisters. So many people were sick everywhere. Then we seen a video as well. They showing that they tested the tap water and found that they had, the sickness within the tap. So a lot of the people have been sick, but many recovering. And if it hit your household, I pray that you be healed and restored back to health. But verse 19, 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 19 says, Wherefore then didst thou not obey the voice of the Most High, but didst fly upon the spoil, and didst evil in the sight of the Most High? And Saul said unto Samuel, Yea, I have obeyed the voice of the Most High, and have gone the way which the Most High sent me, and have brought Agag, the king of Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. But the people took of the spoil sheep and oxen, the chief of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice unto the Most High thy power in Gilgal. So the people, instead of taking, abiding by those instructions given by the Most High to destroy everything, they felt that, well, these things are good. We can sacrifice this to the Most High. But look at the response. Verse 22, it says, And Samuel said, Have the Most High as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices, as in obeying the voice of the Most High? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of the Most High, he hath also rejected thee from being king. Because you didn't utterly kill everything, you being removed from your position of headship over the nation. It cost him his whole seat, man. Rent the kingdom from him. Why? Because he had, we're going to let him tell it. Verse 24. It says, And Saul said unto Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of the Most High and thy words. Here you go. Because I feared the people and obeyed their voice. Saul said he feared the people more than the Most High. But guess what? The punishment that he reaped from that, the people didn't get it. It was on his head. So we got another example. Aaron or Aharon. When Moses went up the mountain for the 40 days and 40 nights. They said, we don't know what happened to Moses, man. Well, make us gods. Make us some gods. Said Aaron was afraid of the people. Y'all give me all y'all gold, man. I'm going to make y'all an idol. And these are the gods that brought y'all up from Egypt. Foolish. But their fear will get you in trouble. Their fear will end up keeping you out of the kingdom. All fear ain't good. The fear of the Most High is. Indeed, I praise Him every day. We praying for the healing of the brothers and sisters. All right, but it tells us here, he said, it's better to obey. To obey is better than sacrifice. All right, so we want to make sure we obedient, and sometimes obedience to the Most High is going to look unorthodox. It's going to look crazy to brothers and sisters around you. They might not understand it. But if it's from the Most High, long as He understands. But it tells us here, it says, for rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. So let's get an example for this real quick too. Let's go to Exodus 22. We're going back to 1 Samuel though. Exodus 22. Exodus chapter 22. And we're going to hit verse 18 because it says rebellion. To rebel against the Most High. See, that's as witchcraft. All right, Exodus 22, verse 18. And it reads, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Let's go even further, verse 19. Whosoever lieth with a beast shall surely be put to death. So now we're talking about killing something. But we're going to get understanding on it because the law tells us thou shalt not kill. So for some that might be confused, they're like, hold up, man. So in the book, he telling us don't suffer a witch to live, which tells us kill her, kill that witch. But over here, he telling us thou shalt not kill. We're going to get some understanding on it. But it says, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. So rebellion being as witchcraft, that means to rebel against the Most High. Your punishment and judgment is supposed to be death. You're supposed to be killed. All right? Well, let's jump back, though. Let me jump back for a second. Let's go to Exodus 20 to get that particular law. Exodus chapter 20, verse 13, brothers and sisters. And it says simply, thou shalt not kill. All right? But with all that getting, get understanding. Wisdom is the principal thing. But with all that getting, get understanding. Thou shalt not kill. Now, that word there is 7523 in the concordance for the Hebrew word. All right, words have meanings, words have connotations, words have denotations, and you have to apply them in context. So that word is 7523. I pray y'all writing these verses down. Take notes, anything else that may be said that you can use in ministry. All right, but that word for kill, 7523, brothers and sisters. Because we want to get some understanding. What is he telling us? 7523. And that word is ratsak. Rasak. All right? A primitive root to dash in pieces, i.e., when you see i.e., if you don't know, that means for example or that is. All right? It says to dash in pieces. For example, kill a human being, especially to murder, put to death, kill, manslayer, slayer, murder, murderer. It says a verb meaning to murder, to slay, to kill. Now that is the understanding. Thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not murder. That's what the Father instructed us. All right, because in a time where, which we're going to get some of those examples, but in today's time, if somebody was to invade your house, break into your home, you have children. Or maybe you don't. But you're in your home. They break into your house and they got weapons. They have no intent of bringing peace or sparing or having mercy. They don't know nothing about mercy. Understanding that according to St. John 8:44, these are children of Satan. These are not the Most High children. What are you gonna do? What is the head of the household to do? The man in the household with his family, somebody breaking his house, and they got his wife hostage. They got his children hostage. Should he allow them to just, have their way with his wife and children? Or should he fight for his life? Should he be willing to kill for his family? We're going to kill about it on this side. We're going to kill about it, man. We don't want to kill. We don't want to take life. But if it's coming down to it, I know if you bothering me on that level, you got to have a demon in you. You got to be demonic and demon possessed. Because I'm not bothering nobody. I'm not going to bother nobody. All right? But let me get this definition here. A simple definition. Let's see, from Google. First, let me look up kill.
Kill.
All right, kill. It says cause the death of a person, animal, or other living thing. Put an end to or cause the failure or defeat of. All right, so that's what it means to kill. Take life, cause the death of. What you got other ways to apply it when we're talking technology, computers, in sports of soccer, so on and so forth. All right, but to kill, it says cause the death of a person, animal, or other living thing. Now let's get the definition of murder. And pay attention to the connotation of this definition.
Murder.
All right, murder. It says the unlawful, premeditated killing of one human being by another. Again, the unlawful, premeditated killing of one human being by another. I also saying kill someone unlawfully and with premeditation. All right. So there's murder. It said it's unlawful. It ain't no righteous act. It's a such thing as a righteous kill, brothers and sisters. It's a such thing as that. Now, I do understand that there be many that's, when they think of that, they say, well, the way the judicial system set up, I can't really defend myself. I'm afraid to defend myself and my family on that level. There's a decision you got to make, though. We'll be faced with that decision soon. How things are going. All right, but there's murder. Let's get an example. Well, before we do that, let's go back to 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel 15. We're going back there. 1 Samuel 15, brothers and sisters. Back to it. Picking back up in the case where Saul, he was brought into a snare because he feared the people. Proverbs 29:25 says, the fear of man bringeth a snare. All right, but the person that trusted the Most High said, he's going to be well off. So if he had trusted the Most High to get rid of all these Amalekites, we wouldn't be dealing with them today. All right. So I'm going to read verse 24 again. 1 Samuel 15, verse 24. It says, and Saul said unto Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of the Most High and thy words, because I feared the people and obeyed their voice. Now therefore, I pray thee, pardon my sin, and turn again with me that I may worship the Most High. And Samuel said unto Saul, I will not return with thee, for thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, and the Most High have rejected thee from being king over Israel. And as Samuel turned about to go away, he laid hold upon the skirt of his mantle, and it rent. And Samuel said unto him, the Most High have rent the kingdom of Israel from thee this day, and have given it to a neighbor of thine that is better than thou. The neighbor being better than Saul because he's going to keep the instructions of the Most High. Rather that mean to kill and wipe out everything or spare. And it's talking about David. All right, so don't understand that. The Most High might give the order for you to kill something. And if you don't do it, you will be removed. But that's it. His appointed time in Beckham. Again, I'm not telling nobody to go out and kill nobody. I'm not telling you saying that you had a problem with this brother and sister, they made you upset, you got out with this person, go take their life. I'm not saying it. I'm saying that it's a such thing, and there is a time when the only way to neutralize a threat is to kill them. It ain't gonna be no time to pray. You ain't gonna have the time to fast. You ain't gonna be able to say, bind this devil. All of that prayer gonna have to be and already went forth. And it's gonna be contingent upon you to defend and save your own life or the people around you. All right, verse 28. No, 29, Salaki. And also the strength of Israel will not lie, nor repent. For he is not a man that he should repent. The strength of Israel being the Most High. Verse 30, then he said, I have sinned, yet honor me now, I pray thee, before the elders of my people, and before Israel, and turn again with me, that I may worship the Lord thy God. So Samuel turned again after Saul, and Saul worshiped the Most High. Then said Samuel, pay attention to this part. This is what I was talking about. We skip over it real quick, so many people, when it comes down to our heritage. We brag about everything else, but we don't like to hone in on this particular part. Not everybody, but many. Verse 32 said, then said Samuel, bring ye hither to me Agag, the king of the Amalekites. And Agag came unto him delicately. And Agag said, surely the bitterness of death is past. And Samuel said, as thy sword have made women childless, so shall thy mother be childless among women. And Samuel hewed Agag in pieces before the Most High in Gilgal. Listen, brothers and sisters, the prophet was a killer. Samuel was a killer, man. Said, this, Saul, you couldn't go through with it, man. Bring me Agag, man. Bring him to me. Said he came delicately. He came humble. He came like, he know the business. Samuel like, listen, man, just like your sword that made families made motherless childless, your mama finna be childless today. And said he didn't just cut him, said he cut him in pieces. He hacked this man in pieces. I see people dropping out. Cool. The word might not be for you. All praise to the Most High. All right. Matter of fact, on it, and this is no disrespect to those, because again, I understand everybody's role not the same. You know, in the army, again, as I said earlier, in the army, everybody's not the shooter. You got nurses and medics. You got cooks. You got, mechanics who never see the field. You know, they just take care of communications. All he do all day is watch the phone. He ain't got to get no blood on his hand. That's for some people. But in this case, those who have an ear to hear who it is for, Sirach 37. Sirach 37, I'm going to start with verse 10. And I got something else to add to that after this. Sirach 37, verse 10, page 92 in the Red Apocrypha. All right. It says, consult not with one that suspecteth thee, and hide thy counsel from such as envy thee. So you don't talk to everybody about all your business. Some of these folks, they got ulterior motives against you already. Don't reveal your plans to them. Verse 11 says, neither consult with the woman touching her of whom she is jealous, neither with a coward in matters of war. Don't talk to no coward about wartime. You know what I'm saying? They don't get that. They cowards. They don't want to fight. They don't want war. They don't want no blood on their hands or no smoke. It's not for them. Cool. The book told us that before our forefathers went out to war, understand, we got to have an army, brothers and sisters. The nation itself, the countries got armies. They ain't there just to look pretty and look powerful. These folks have contracts to kill and to take life if it come down to it. All right, so in this case, The book told us that before they went out to war, the man would announce to say, if any man here is fearful, let him go back home unless their spirit transferred to his neighbor. So if you fearful, okay, just go back home. You do better if you're afraid and you want to stay home. Cool. We need people at the house to, you know what I mean, look out for the women and children and everything, the supplies that's back home anyhow. Defend that at the least. You know what I'm saying? Sisters included. All right, we're going to get to that though. All right, but he says, neither with the coward in matters of war, nor with the merchant concerning exchange. And it go on with a bunch of a list of things of not to talk to these people about certain stuff that they don't agree with. It's contrary to them. They don't feel it. All right, but back in 1 Samuel 15, we see that Samuel the prophet took life. He killed. He was a killer in his sense. But it was a righteous kill because the Most High told him to do that. Verse 34 says, then Samuel went to Ramah, and Saul went up to his house to Gibeah of Saul. And Samuel came no more to see Saul until the day of his death. Nevertheless, Samuel mourned for Saul, and the Most High repented that he had made Saul king over Israel. Now, ain't that something? Man, that's a shameful position to be in, to where the Most High regret dealing with you. We don't want to be those people, brothers and sisters. Let's go to 2 Kings 10, though. 2 Kings 10. So we're going to get another example of our ancestors taking life. A time to kill. Matter of fact, whole 2 Kings 10. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 3. That way we can see it. I'm not just, you know what I'm saying? This is not just me saying this now. We can get it out the book. Flip right to it. I'll praise to the Most High. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, I'm going to start with verse 1. It says, to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, and a time to die. A time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted. Verse 3, a time to kill, and a time to heal. A time to break down, and a time to build up. All right, so it's telling us it's a time to kill. It's a time to heal as well. You got to keep this in mind. So I'm only trying to encourage you, brothers and sisters, to know that, man, they can be at the door at any day. Understanding we're going to get it out the script too. I'm trying not to, get ahead of myself. But because we keeping these commandments 100%, that doesn't mean that we totally immune from trouble. Because you keeping the commandments, because you praying and fasting, you striving after righteousness, that don't mean that you can't be touched. That don't mean you untouchable. Listen, in the book of Maccabees, our ancestors were keeping the commandment of keeping the Sabbath holy when they ran into the mountains. And what happened? Our adversaries came on the Sabbath day and killed them. To where the Maccabees had to make the resolve and say, well, you know what we're here for? If they come like that, we going to fight for our life, our nation, our family, our wives, and our children, even if it's on the Sabbath. And the Most High didn't punish them for that. All right? Verse 4 says, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. In a time of war, what you think going on? You think everybody holding hands? You think they playing? You think they lighting menorahs and, they breaking out the fatted lamb? No, they not. They not just talking. You know what I'm saying? They going, at a time of war, is casualties on both sides. And many times, in order to get to the peace, it got to be war. Tell you something else. If you saying you a king, you can't be a king if you ain't got killed in you. You better know that. If you cannot be a king if you ain't got killed in you. Because you got other kings who wicked, they got kingdoms and they want to expand their rule and reign. So they say, you know what, old boy got a kingdom over here, but you know, he ain't about that action. I'm finna go kill him and everything with him that he got over there. So either you gonna contend with this person who bent on taking life, and they putting their life on the line to take your life. So you gotta understand, you got to have the mindset to say, in order to defend what the Most High done blessed me with, I'm willing to take life about it. Not that I want to, but if it come to it, we got to be about that. All right, let's go back to 2 Kings 10 though. 2 Kings 10. I'm gonna start with verse 18. 2 Kings 10 verse 18. All right, smash the like button if you hadn't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. Some people who not getting the notifications, I don't control YouTube. Either if you didn't get the notification, unsubscribe and resubscribe. All right. 2 Kings 10, chapter 10, verse 18. It says, and Jehu gathered all the people together and said unto them, Ahab served Baal little, but Jehu shall serve him much. Now therefore call unto me all the prophets of Baal, all his servants, and all his priests. Let none be wanting, for I have a great sacrifice to do to Baal. Whosoever shall be wanting, he shall not live. But Jehu did it in subtlety, to the intent that he might destroy the worshippers of Baal. And Jehu said, proclaim a solemn assembly for Baal. And they proclaimed it. And Jehu sent through all Israel, and all the worshippers of Baal came, so that there was not a man left that came not. And they came into the house of Baal, and the house of Baal was full from one end to another. So the house packed out with idolatrous people who serve in Baal. But again, this is done in subtlety with zeal for the Most High. This was the zeal that Jehu had. Said, I'm going to get all these idolatrous people because they bringing sin upon the nation. They causing the land to be polluted. They causing us to be at odds with the Most High. So I'm going to get them all in one place. Verse 22, he said, and he said unto him that was over the vestry, bring forth vestments for all the worshippers of Baal. And he brought them forth vestments. And Jehu went, and Jehonadab, the son of Rechab, into the house of Baal, and said unto the worshippers of Baal, search and look that there be here with you none of the servants of the Most High, but the worshippers of Baal only. So make sure we ain't finna kill somebody who really rocking with the Most High. And when they went in to offer sacrifices and burnt offerings, Jehu appointed 80 men without, 80 men, and said, if any of the men whom I have brought into your hands escape, he that let of him go, his life shall be for the life of him. And it came to pass, as soon as he had made an end of offering the burnt offering, that Jehu said to the guard and to the captains, go in and slay them. Let none come forth. And they smote them with the edge of the sword. And the guard and the captains cast them out, and went to the city of the house of Baal. So 80 men stood outside, and Jehu gave the command and said, man, kill all these idolatrous people. Now we're going to see how the Most High responded to that. We're going to see if that was wicked or evil. Verse 26, it says, and they brought forth the images out of the house of Baal and burned them. And they break down the image of Baal and break down the house of Baal and made it a draught house unto this day. Thus Jehu destroyed Baal out of Israel. Howbeit from the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin, Jehu departed not from after them, to wit, the golden calves that were in Bethel and that were in Dan. So he still had some sin. All right, but nonetheless, even with that, verse 30 says, and the Most High said unto Jehu, because thou hast done well in executing that which is right in mine eyes, and hast done unto the house of Ahab according to all that was in mine heart, thy children of the fourth generation shall sit on the throne of Israel. The Most High was like, man, hey, bro, you did good. You did well. You executed what was in my heart to do to these people. A time to kill. The Most High said, you got to cut them off all the way. This is what he's saying. This thing wasn't condemned. But yet again, I want it to be emphasized for brothers and sisters to know, these are our forefathers and our foremothers. They weren't just preaching. They weren't just talking. It didn't just end at a point to say, we're going to rebuke and bind these devils. Now, if it came down to bloodshed, they was willing to do that too. Again, I'm not telling nobody to go out here and murder nobody. All right, let's continue on, though. Let's go to Genesis. One of the most meek and humble men, even within our records, even the very man who, by his obedience, you know, we came into the covenant with the Creator. Who am I talking about? Somebody tell me who I'm talking about. Who I'm talking about, family? It's by this man we was able to come into covenant with the Creator. Say, I'm going to bless your seed for what you did. Sister Weezy, Shabbat Shalom. Peace and blessing to you. Not Moshe, Dustin. Not Moshe. It was a good one, though. Who was it? Nope, not David. All praise to Moshe. That's a good one. Who was it that their obedience caused the Most High to say, man, I'm going to bless your seed? Davion Murphy. There we go. Abraham. Let's go to Genesis 14, brothers and sisters. That's right, Yanika. Abraham. Lenoya. Indeed. Abraham. That's who it is. Understand that these folks was hitters, man. These weren't no spineless guys. These weren't no spineless women. We gonna get the example of, man, the women killers too. I'm trying to tell you what's happening now. Genesis 14. We're going to start with verse 12. So just a little, you know, to give you the context of what's going on here. This was at the time of the war of those kings, the 5 kings, in the land of Sodom and Gomorrah. They went to war, and Lot had already went over into Sodom. You know what I'm saying? So he was already stationed there. So the people of the land got into it. They came and ended up taking Lot. All right, so he was just a prisoner of war. He just got caught up in the crosshairs. Genesis 14, verse 12. And they took Lot, Abram's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. They kidnapped this man. Verse 13. And there came one that had escaped and told Abram the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the plain of Mamre the Amorite, brother of Eshcol, and brother of Aner. And these were confederate with Abram. So Abraham, he got folks on his side that's ready to ride for him. Verse 14. And when Abram heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his trained servants, born in his own house, 318, and pursued them unto Dan. Listen, Abraham about that action, man. The man, he chasing after these folks. They didn't kidnap my nephew. You got to pay. And we're going to get that out the law. He keeping the law here. Verse 15 says, and he divided himself against them, he and his servants, by night, and smote them, and pursued them unto Hobah, which is on the left hand of Damascus. And he brought back all the goods, and also brought again his brother Lot, and his goods, and the women also, and the people. Man went and rescued them folks. Verse 17. And the king of Sodom went out to meet him after his return from the slaughter of Chedorlaomer, and of the kings that were with him at the valley of Shaveh, which is the king's Dale. So after Abraham then went out and slaughtered these folks, man, he said, man, y'all got my nephew. Y'all done kidnapped the wrong one. They cost those folks their life. It was a time to kill. I gotta kill you, man. That ain't what I wanted to do, but y'all didn't look at what you did. Now let's go to Exodus. We're going to get the law about this. They kidnapped him. Exodus 21, verse 16. So what is the judgment for that? Exodus 21, verse 16. It says, and he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. It's a time to kill. You know what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? We want to keep these commandments, but when it come down to this type of talk, brothers and sisters say, okay, well, no, we can't. That ain't know the Most High. No, man, you going to deal with the book, 2 Timothy 3 and 16. All scripture. He said all scripture, not just the portion that feel good and sound good to you. Not just the portion that you agree with. Said all scripture is profitable. All right, for the man of the Most High, the woman of the Most High. So we see here that Abraham, he took life, he killed. All right, now let's go to let's go to Exodus. We're still in Exodus. Let's go to Exodus 2 though. Another ancestor. Very meek man. Exodus chapter 2, verse 11. Now, Dustin, now we on Moshe. Exodus chapter 2, verse 11, brothers and sisters. It says, and it came to pass in those days, when Moses was grown, that he went out unto his brethren, and looked on their burdens. And he spied an Egyptian smiting an Hebrew, one of his brethren. And he looked this way and that way. And when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. All right, so we see here, but what is the purpose? He said, man, I see a Gentile, some out of another nation, oppressing one of my brothers. I see this. So he looked around, made sure ain't nobody, make sure the coast clear. Ain't nobody finna see this. This finna be done in secret. Said he took that man's life and hid him in the sand. But it wasn't just because he wanted to murder this man. The man was oppressing a Hebrew. Abraham took life not just, it wasn't a murder, it was a kill. Y'all kidnapped my nephew, man. Jehu took those folks' life not just because he wanted to murder them. They was in idolatry. All right? Let's see. Continuing on verse 13, it says, and when he went out the second day, behold, two men of the Hebrews strove together. And he said to him that did the wrong, wherefore smitest thou thy fellow? Why y'all fighting, man? Verse 14, and he said, who made thee a prince and a judge over us? Intendest thou to kill me, as thou killedest the Egyptian? And Moses feared and said, surely this thing is known. So we only went to 14 to show and clarify that, yeah, he killed him. He took life. He killed that man. Let's get another. I want to show you some about the sisters, though. Let's see these sisters that was killers. Let's go to Esther. We're going to go to Esther, brothers and sisters. So you got Nehemiah. It's right after the book of Nehemiah. We're going to Esther 9. All right, because you see, I've seen in different cases or heard in other cases, you know, brothers will be training. We're talking about combat training and training with firearms. And a brother will feel like, well, I'm not going to train my wife. Why not? Why not? Well, you're not going to be at the house all the time. You're not going to be around all the time. So the sisters need to know how to defend themselves with lethal force if they have to. These other nations, they surely training their women and children. They train them with lethal force. All right? But in this case, we're seeing context of what's going on. Haman, he already, you know what I'm saying, been identified and uncovered. He's been hung. It was told to the king Ahasuerus that, you know, Haman was trying to get rid of all the Jews, trying to wipe out, have an actual purge done on Israelites. You know what I'm saying? So At this point, the king like, okay, now Esther, you the queen, baby, you can have whatever you want, up to half of the kingdom. And so her response for that was that she wanted the nation to be safe. She had a mind after her nation, brothers and sisters. One selfish. All right. Esther 9, verse 12. It says, and the king said unto Esther the queen, the Jews have slain and destroyed 500 men in Shushan the palace, and the 10 sons of Haman. What have they done in the rest of the king's provinces? Now, what is thy petition? And it shall be granted thee. Or, what is thy request further? And it shall be done. So it's saying she didn't have it set up to where we can fight for our lives and kill and overcome our enemies. What else you want though, baby? That was done. Now what else you want? This is what the king is saying. Verse 13. Then said Esther, if it please the king, let it be granted to the Jews which are in Shushan to do tomorrow, also according unto this day's decree. And let Haman's 10 sons be hanged upon the gallows. Now look at that. Let's analyze that. This sister had a man, though she is not taking it in actually the weapon being in her hand, she's in a position of power where her word can cause death, can cause someone to be killed. And in her head, she said, listen, hang his sons, all 10 of them. Sisters got to have a mindset to say, man, if it came down to it, this is not what we want to do, but if I got to take life, so be it. Esther said it's time to make boss moves. Indeed. This is what's going on, though. This is a sister, though. It's a lot of brothers who couldn't stomach that decision. All right? Verse 14, and the king commanded it so to be done. And the decree was given at Shushan, and they hanged Haman's 10 sons. All right? For the Jews that were in Shushan gathered themselves together on the 14th day also of the month, Adar, and slew 300 men at Shushan, or Shushan. But on the prey, they laid not their hand. Seeing that, we wasn't even bothering people in that time. In this account, brothers and sisters. But the adversaries came looking to destroy us as a nation to wipe us all out. We had to kill in order to live. All right? Let's go to Judith in the Apocrypha. Judith in the Apocrypha. And while y'all get that, I want to share something. Let me share something that was shared with me today. Father willing, I'll upload this video to the channel because I hadn't seen it over YouTube. All right, but it is on the website BITCHUTE. All right, but this here says vexed spontaneously combusting from 5G towers in Israel. So it's talking about the people's heads is spontaneously exploding over in Israel from them activating the 5G towers. I'm trying to see if I can show this. Let's see. Writing it up, yeah. Okay. Smoke coming from the head. Yeah, this is what's going on. So, I'll be willing, if I remember, I'll put the link within the description of this video. Or like I said, I'm gonna upload the video itself to YouTube. But yeah, said they took the jab, they got the injection. Uh, Genetics then been changed, the gene pool was altered. Understanding that, as the book tells us, brothers, it said, as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the days of the coming of the Son of Man. Paraphrasing. But then when we go into the scripture and we look at Noah, it said he was perfect in his generations. The root word of generation is gene. His gene hadn't been altered. All right? So in these times, they taking this stuff, and listen, I'm not just saying this. You know, you can go look up, the information is out. It said the truth will spring up from the earth. Knowledge will increase. So it's accessible, brothers and sisters. I'm not just speaking just to be speaking. You can find this information. All right. But on the subject matter, back into the message of time to kill. Uh, the point and perspective of it, dealing with sisters or our women being killers, right? Having a stomach to kill. We in Jude 13, page 52 of the Red Apocrypha. And it reads, context, like what's going on here if you don't know. Holofernes or Holofernes, he then came to the mountain with an army that when they moved, the ground shake. Like on the movie 300, if you ever saw it. It's a sea of people. And they coming to overtake our people in the mountain. They didn't seize the land. They didn't cut the water supply off. You know what I mean? Some of our people down for it's been a famine. You know what I'm saying? They didn't cut the water. They thirsty. They down of thirst. So they got us seized in the mountain. All right? Judith, this sister, who after her husband passed, she had been fasting ever since then, except on the Sabbath days and the eves of the Sabbaths and the holy days. See, she was, you know what I'm saying, man, that's power. I can't hardly get it out. But this same sister prayed and said, Father, I know you're going to deliver us from it. We need to be delivered, even if you're going to do it by a woman's hand. Said she was beautiful. So she took off her widow's garments, put on her clothes as being beautiful of joy, went out to her Holofernes, subtly, you know, saying that, listen, I don't want nothing to do with the Israelite, let me in. I can tell you a little something on how to overcome it. All right. Jude 13, verse 1 says, now when the evening was come, his servants made haste to depart. And Boaz shut his tent without and dismissed the waiters from the presence of his Lord. Talking about Holofernes. At this point, Judith, our sister, she done infiltrated them. They want her to come out for a feast and all this type of stuff. And they went to their beds, for they were all weary, because the feast had been long. And Judith was left alone in the tent, and Holofernes lying alone upon his bed, for he was filled with wine. Now Judith had commanded her maid to stand without her bedchamber, and to wait for her coming forth, as she did daily. For she said she would go forth to her prayers, and she spake to Boaz according to the same purpose. All right, so he thinks she finna go pray. But these fellas then got drunk out their mind, drunk out their head, and she saying that this the opportunity. Verse 4, so all went forth, and none was left in the bedchamber, neither little nor great. Then Judith, standing by his bed, said in her heart, O Lord God of all power, look at this present upon the works of mine hands for the exaltation of Jerusalem. For now is the time to help thine inheritance, and to execute mine enterprises to the destruction of the enemies which are risen against us. Then she came to the pillar of the bed, which was at Holofernes' head, and took down his falchion from thence. A falchion is a weapon. All right, sharp instrument. Verse 7, and approached to his bed, and took hold of the hair of his head, and said, strengthen me, O Holy One of Israel, this day. And she smote twice upon his neck with all her might, and she took away his head from him, and tumbled his body down from the bed, and pulled down the canopy from the pillars. And a nun, after she went forth and gave Holofernes his head to her maid. So this sister had it in her head. She didn't, too hard, with all her might, cut this man's head off. It was a time to kill. Why? Not that she wanted to murder him. They came to our doorstep, brothers and sisters, saying that they want to enslave our women. They wanted to kill the men. They wanted to make us subject to Nebuchadnezzar. They saying that we weren't supposed to be praising the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They said, no, Nebuchadnezzar is God. That's what the mindset that they had. Not so. All right, let's go to Psalm 149, though, brothers and sisters. Let me show you something else. Psalm 149. Because we know our weapons are not carnal, but there comes a time when carnal weapons will be necessary. Psalm 149. I'm going to read all this. I'm going to start with verse 1. Within it is only 9 verses. All right, it says, praise ye the Most High. Sing unto the Most High a new song, and his praise in the congregation of saints. We're going to praise, we're going to clap hands, we're going to dance, we're going to shout, we're going to give the Most High his glory and honor. We're going to lift up our voice. We're going to do that. We're going to dance too. We're going to sing unto him. Verse 2 said, let Israel rejoice in him that made him. Let the children of Zion be joyful in their king. Let them praise his name in the dance. Let them sing praises unto him with the timbrel and harp. We're going to use instruments of music to glorify the Father. We're going to do that. All right, it says, for the Most High taketh pleasure in his people. He will beautify the meek with salvation. Now, aside from that, verse 5, look what it says. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of a higher be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand. So yeah, we're going to praise, dance, and play the piano and the timbrels and the guitars and the harps. But guess what else? We're going to have a two-edged sword too. Verse 7, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people. All right, we're gonna execute vengeance on the Gentiles and these heathens. And even further than that, some of these Israelites who had the heathen mindset, who then sold out, who like Lysimachus from the book of Maccabees, who like Judas. So we're going to execute vengeance upon them. Verse 8, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye the Most High. All right, and even as the comment just said from Toya, the Most High is a man of war. Understand it. And sometimes it takes war to get to that peace. But this book just told me that the saints, they're going to be joyful. But also, they're going to have a two-edged sword in their hand. To do what? Execute vengeance. It's not to play. It's not to be some show off. This is not just for you to be afraid. This is for me to use. It's for us to use. What you think they use to overcome and conquer us? The Most High placed the curse on us to say, I'm going to break your strength and your power. I'm going to give you fear. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Yeah. I'm going to take away your strength. But when these people come in, they going to come in with weapons. They coming in with swords and shields and spears and arrows and horses with war apparel on. When that time comes, brothers and sisters, it's going to be some point. You feel me? You're going to have to fight. You're going to have to take a life. Let's go to Matthew 5. Let's get some from the lips of the Messiah. Matthew 5. So this is not for the faint-hearted. It's not for the spineless. It's not for the weak. This not for those who say, yeah, I love the Bible. That's what I was going to say earlier. I'll praise the Most High. Thank you, Father, for bringing it back to my remembrance. Everybody who dealing with the Bible and the scriptures, brothers and sisters, they not dealing with it sincerely to say that this is the book of truth and that this is the word of the Creator that must be abided by. They not. Some people find this as a point in a position of witness protection. They say that when it come down to the book, it talks about peace, loving your neighbors, turning the other cheek, and those be the things that they focus on because they don't want to go to war, because they are fearful. Therefore, their intention behind even dealing with the scriptures is not even pure. If the book didn't deal with peace, they wouldn't deal with the book. All right, but the Most High said he's a God of knowledge. He said just as great as his mercy is, his wrath is great as well. Don't play with him. This is what the book letting us know. So if you want to deal with the book solely based off peace, you fake. I'm letting you know that today. If we want to deal with it solely based off war, you fake. It got to be balanced. It's a time of war and it's a time of peace. All right, Matthew 5, verse 21. It says, ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not kill. And whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. Verse 22. But I say unto you, that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. So, thou shalt not murder. The Messiah took it further and said, man, listen, you shouldn't murder, but if you even got the mindset of hating your brother without a reason, you in danger of the judgment. All right, because as we done went through the scriptures, what we seeing, these prophets and prophetesses, they had a reason to kill. All right, it says, and whosoever shall say to his brother, Rakah, shall be in danger of the council. But whosoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hell fire. Therefore, if thou bring thy gift to the altar, and thou remembers that thy brother have aught against thee, leave there thy gift before the altar, and go thy way. First be reconciled to thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift. All right, now, all of this line up. All right, and be careful that, some people, spirits be on people. You know what I mean? A demon can get on anybody at any time and operate through that person to cause you to be angry with your brother or your sister. So much so to some of us deal with the Freddie Juven, Shalom. Some of us deal with that angry spirit. And that angry spirit got levels to some think to kill and murder, but it's not for a righteous reason. You can't kill just because they upset you, brother. You can't kill them just because they made you mad, sister. I will continuing on. It says, agree with thine adversary quickly. Pay attention to this part. Whilst thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. 26, verily I say unto thee, surely I say this to you, thou shalt by no means come out thence till thou hast paid the uttermost farthing. And we go on here because there be some who think that because you keeping the commandments, as I said earlier, you think that you can't be touched. You think that the Most High finna work this miracle when your enemy come, your adversary come, and they got intentions to harm you or put you in a situation that takes you from your family. You think he finna just pluck you out the situation. No. Some situations you're going to go through. That's why I said, verily I say unto you, by no means you ain't going to come out of prison out that situation. By no means. Said you're going to stay in there till you pay the uttermost farthing. That's what we got to understand. Certain situations that come about, it's going to be trouble that you're going to have to deal with. Let's go to Luke, though. If you ain't smashed the like button, smash it. The word could be for somebody. All it takes is one verse at the right time to convert a soul. I done seen it happen. I didn't seen it happen. Luke 22, that's where we going though. Luke 22, I'm going to start with 35. All right, and it reads, it says, and he said unto them, when I sent you without purse and scrip and shoes, lack ye anything? And they said, nothing. And just to hone in on their purse, you're not talking about no men out here wearing men purses. You're talking about at that time, we had those sacks where you put your rubies and your coins in. Not no purse like a man around here with a Michael Kors bag on his shoulder. He ain't talking about like that. All right, but he said, when I sent you out, did you lack anything? They said, nothing. We ain't lack nothing. We was taken care of. Verse 36. Then said he unto them, but now, letting you know that the time changed. The circumstances has changed, brothers and sisters. But now, he that have a purse, let him take it. And likewise his scrip. And he that have no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one. For I say unto you, that this that is written must yet be accomplished in me. And he was reckoned among the transgressors. For the things concerning me have an end. Verse 38, and they said, Master, behold, here are 2 swords. And he said unto them, it is enough. All right, so the Messiah, he didn't tell, hey, put them swords away, man. We don't need that, man. That's ungodly. That's unrighteous. That's unholy. That's satanic. That's demonic. He said, oh, y'all got 2 on. Oh, that's enough. You got 2 choppers. That's cool. 2 handguns. That's okay. We straight. That's sufficient. That'll work. Told him, sell your garment and go buy a sword. When I first sent you, I said, don't worry about nothing. You're going to be taken care of. You don't even got to take your script, no purse, nothing. You don't need no. Just go as you are. Pockets empty, no wallet, nothing. But now, he turned around and told him, but now, when you go, man, take that wallet too. You're going to need that bread. You ain't got a sword? Hey, sell your garment. And then you know that your fashion is not more important than the protection and preservation of your life. Your fashion is not more important than preservation of your family. Indeed, you need a chopper. So, but just to recap, we see that it said the fear of man. We fearing what man thinks. Some people don't want to get guns and protect or defend their family because they feel like Israelites going to condemn them. Listen, we talking, and I hate to have to talk like this because I love my people. But we in a time where I got to tell the truth even when I'm hurting behind it. We talking about Israelites and it's not all Israelites. It's not all Hebrews. But it's the same people that they'll be fellowshipping with you because you calling on the same name. But the moment that you do something that they don't like, you will be condemned. They'll cut you off. But link with you because you calling on the same name. Or condemn you because you don't call on the same name. So what my point is, it's not about the Israelites at that point. It's about fearing the Most High. Don't fear the opinion of man or woman or child. That brings a snare. All right, but we're going to trust the Most High, and the Most High letting us know through the script. Listen, you're going to need that tool, man. All right. Questions, comments, and concern before we close out. That's all I got today, brothers and sisters. I pray that the word was edifying, strengthening, and on time for somebody. Pray that it was received. Pray more, worry less. Yes, yes, yes. That's what the shirt say. Questions, comments, or concerns, though, family. Thank the Most High. Salute to you too, Toya, Zion. Thank the Most High. I'm just a vessel. I'm just trying to put my brick in. All praise to the Most High. I praise Elohim said that was on time. Okay. Try to go back through some of these comments. because I couldn't read them all during the message. If I can go back. Indeed, the book does tell us that teach my hands to war. So we supposed to be training. We supposed to be getting that training. We supposed to be getting our health perfected. You know what I mean? Hit them push-ups, go running, go walking. You know what I'm saying? We supposed to be hitting that iron. We supposed to be going to hit that bag. Work on that right jab. Work on the evading, the ducking. We supposed to be wrestling with each other. Preparing for the time. It might come that time. And it's not limited to just brothers. I'm talking about sisters too. Trey Ola, shalom. Thank the Most High. 144 indeed. Big 144. All praise to the Most High for y'all. All praise to the Most High for the Most High. That's who the source is. Yeah, but it'll come that time we need to be teaching our children. Teach your son and your daughter. Don't be telling them that fighting is ungodly. It's a time to fight. These devils, listen, I just was having a conversation the other day. You got people, rappers around here, people, period, out of their own mouth saying that they demons. They saying, I'm a demon. So if they letting you know they demons, and we supposed to be, you know, those of the light, children of the light, when that war come down, listen, these demons they not finna stop and cease just because you start praying. The praying will cease and bind and arrest the atmosphere with its levels. You got different strength of demons out here, brothers and sisters. This is why the book told us in Matthew 12, the Messiah said, some of these spirits, you know what I mean, come out. It take more than just praying. It take fasting and praying. Indeed, Yahweh Shah, the Most High gave us power. Indeed. Oh yeah, then they were talking about they on demon time. Come on now. They saying they on demon time, brothers and sisters. Something my favorite. I can't hardly even get it out. One of my favorite verses. Right here. Psalm 94. It says, who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? The Most High said, who gonna rise up for him against these evildoers? Who gonna stop these evildoers? He said he made us his battle axe. He said he gonna serve his vengeance through us. He gonna lay out vengeance on these other nations through his people. He didn't say he gonna come swinging on them. He said, yeah, I made y'all. The tribe of Judah and Asher and Manasseh and Issachar and all y'all. I'm gonna use y'all. I'm gonna give y'all the power to execute my vengeance. That ain't no spiritual sword, brothers and sisters. That's literal weapons. Indeed, Father, please help the youth and the elderly and all in between. All right, if y'all ain't got no questions, Sister Weed said, awesome lesson. It needs to be said, don't think these heathen ain't unprepared. Oh, man, don't think they ain't. Come on now. They ready. They ready. Julius Whitehead, thank the Most High. I'm nobody. Good night, Sister Toya. Shalom may be peaceful when y'all lay down to rest. Yapa Yashra, all real truth, love, shalom, peace and blessing to you in the household. Everybody else who tuned in and who will tune in, smash the like button, comment, subscribe, or dislike it. It don't matter to me. And share the video. All right, what that is going to get it to more people who need to hear it. It'll be on time for another brother or sister. It's somebody who battling, who like, man, should I do this? Should I prepare for war? Would it be ungodly for me to fight? And this the message they may need to hear to let them know, like, listen, it's godly to defend yourself. We know David was a killer. Come on, man. We know David took life. And if you don't know, Solomon, even though the kingdom was at peace in his time and rule, he put in a word to kill. If I'm not mistaken, it was to kill Absalom. Either Absalom or Adonijah. I can't remember. And then aside from that, when Absalom was pursuing King David, David was, evading him and fleeing from him. You had this Benjamite to come out cursing David. You bloody king, throwing rocks at him and dirt. And David's hitman wanted to kill him. David like, no, don't. Hey, let him curse, man. It might, maybe the Most High give me a blessing for his cursing. Okay. Time lapse on. King Solomon, well, Solomon is the king. Solomon remembered that and had that dude killed, man. He said, my daddy spared you, but I'm finna get rid of you. So then like, man, no, it's a time where these things have to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's for us to defend ourselves. Ain't nothing wrong with defending ourselves. The Second Amendment of the Constitution of this country tell you got the right to bear arms. So why is it that these other nations is taking advantage of what it say, but Israelites feeling like, oh man, this ungodly. You've been bewitched. You've been tricked through the doctrine of the Sunday church, telling you that you turn the other cheek all the time. Yeah, we turn the other cheek, but we only got two, brothers and sisters. And if you don't know, example I give all the time, in boxing, these brothers and sisters know that this is a blood sport. But you had a guy go in the ring, he got hit, he made it through the fight, but after that he died. Now this is a person they preparing for the punch. They preparing for the impact of the jab and the blow. So what I look like just letting you smack me? What I look like just letting you punch me? That's not wise. That's not wisdom. The Most High don't want you. Listen, he said, look, this is the temple that the Most High dwell in. You better take care of it. And in taking care of it don't mean that I got to let somebody else put their hands on me. That don't mean that I got to let somebody else, just take advantage of me with whatever weapon they got. No way. Don't be foolish, brothers and sisters. See what y'all saying? David shed plenty blood. He told him, no, Solomon gonna build my temple. Indeed, Solomon was able to do it. But David was a killer now. Traola said, maybe Caesar, but Jill don't kill, but our king be laying them down. Indeed. Let's go to Revelation 2. Revelation chapter 2. While we at it. Revelation chapter 2. Revelation chapter 2. Let's see. What I want. Yeah. Verse 25. It says, but that which ye have already, hold fast till I come. Verse 26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nation. So those that endure to the end, it ain't no one saved, always say. Those who endure unto the end and overcome everything. He said, I'm going to give those people power over the nations. All right. Verse 27 says, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. Iron. Salakia. Trying to pronounce it. He said, he shall rule them with the rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my father. So that rod of iron, brothers and sisters, is not for him to just point and play with. You break the vessel when you hit it. So understand, it's some violence. It said the kingdom is taken by violence. All right. The Most High kill and make alive. This is true. Indeed, the Maccabees told his son to fight. The Maccabees told, you know, they was going to war all throughout the land. Doing the hand claps with my head right now. Isaiah 63:3. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in my anger and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my. Let me get it out the book. Finish that verse out. We don't want to leave it like that. Isaiah 63. Let's see. Isaiah is before Jeremiah. and 3. Yeah. And their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. That's not listen, that's not no peaceable, you know what I'm saying? That's war right there. That's bloodshed. That is bloodshed. That's a time to kill. Brothers and sisters, that's a time to kill. It's coming. Right? All right, so that's all I got. In the meanwhile, if y'all think of something else, questions, comments, and concerns, as I can get to them, I still got a few emails to answer because I'm meditating on them. Those questions, you know, I want to go to the Father about them. But with those that I could answer, I will, and I have. If you have any other questions, send it to childrenoftheprophets144@gmail.com. Childrenoftheprophets144@gmail.com. Again, the song that was played prior to today's message was by Tevin White, I Want to Come Too. There's more music on the way. Forgive me those who features I haven't got to because I'm still trying to get my project done, as well as working on projects of the other artists on the label. So aside from that, just be patient with me. But remember what was said today. It is a time to kill. All right, thou shalt not murder. All right, that's the understanding. Thou shalt not murder. But it is a time to kill. All right, peace and blessings to the chosen. Bro, Elron, how you follow me? Facebook, Paisley Brown. Instagram, Paisley_the_Hebrew. And here on the YouTube, Paisley Hebrew. Indeed. Would I be posting on SoundCloud? I still haven't set up the SoundCloud account. I should, because that's like the third time I done heard that or was asked about it. One love indeed, fam. Praise Elohim every day. Peace, love, and healing to you too, Sister Yanika. And anybody else who's dealing with the ailments. I pray that the word was edifying and strengthening again. All right, shalom, peace, and blessings to y'all. Much love, and may Satan head be bust. May that clown suffer terribly. And prayerfully, as always, remember, tell that devil we won up with this one. Shalom.